Welcome to Is This Really My Job? A weekly podcast about working at a ski resort. The ups, the downs, the dangers, and the rewards. We are your hosts, Dylan and Owl. We're going to get started today with just some introductions first, and then we'll get right into the meat of it. Dylan.
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So why don't we start off by having you tell us about yourself. What brings you to the ski resort?
Wow. Well, so this year, I've worked at another ski resort in the past, and I was a lift operator, and that was very different from what I do now. I'm in a different resort in a different position, and I came back this year. I started this last year, because of a friend that I met, and they had been working here and I hadn't been snowboarding in a couple of years, and the opportunity to get a free pass and be able to snowboard and work, and also the living situation was definitely cool, being so close to the mountain. But yeah, that's pretty much why I came back this year, or why I came back to the mountain this year, just to snowboard.
Snowboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, great time to get it started now that it's almost summertime, but
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you? What brought you here?
What brought me here was I needed a seasonal job that also offered employee housing. A couple of years ago, I was living in Rhode Island, and my girlfriend at the time and I were having some issues. We got together during COVID and kind of got stuck together because of COVID, and it just was not a great situation for anybody. Came out here because they offered the right amount of money and CDL training, and I couldn't say no to that. And it was only supposed to be for one winter. Here I am a year and a half later. I'm still here. So.
Just you saying that reminded me that another big reason why I really chose to take this position was the people around. After I came here, it wasn't really even an orientation, it was just kind of like a job walkthrough, and just the people that I knew I was going to be working with and being around definitely helped sway that decision towards yes, like I definitely want to be down here. It's super cool.
I can absolutely agree with that. The people here are amazing, and it's definitely a unique experience, which kind of leads us right into what we are talking about today, why we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, can't deny that this is a mentally challenging position to take up. We are secluded, isolated from the rest of the world. It takes us an hour to get into the nearest town. So then why do we continue to torture ourselves like this? So you mentioned that, the free lift pass.
Yeah.
You're a snowboarder, yes?
I am a snowboarder, yes. I've tried skiing once and thought, why am I trying this? I could just be trying to progress more with something that I've already know how to do. But I'm open to trying to ski again. Yeah. I think split boarding would be pretty fun.
That did look like, I've seen some videos for that. I want to try that too, actually.
Yeah. And do you ski or snowboard?
I ski.
Okay.
I did not learn how to ski until I started this job a year and a half ago. Here I am at 38, and then so throwing myself off a mountain.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
But that's another reason why I do this job. I got up there for that first time and started learning control and started feeling like just the cold wind in my face and in my hair, and I love it. It's addictive. I can't get enough of skiing, and it makes me sad when the season finally ends and we have to put the skis up or the snowboard up.
It's weird seeing the mountain without snow,
isn't it? Though
when I drive up there, it's like.
Although we experienced that weird. A lot this last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was not too much snow. I hope there's going to be at least twice as much, at least 3 times as much next year.
3 times as much. I'll drink to that. Because we it was a rough start to the season too.
Absolutely. We do have some. Do you want
you
to
want the cold
pull out
one?
the colder one?
Yeah.
The slightly colder one? Awesome. Yeah, so you came out here for several different reasons.
Mhm.
And I think for both of us, it seems like it was convenient timing for other things to finish and for, I don't know, something else to start. I had no idea what to expect when I first came out here.
But you were just along for the ride
Yeah,
at that point.
yeah, I think part of the reason why I still want to do this is a big reason is the people that I'm around and stuff like that, and then yeah, I think
Well, like, so you talk about the people. Why don't you tell some stories about, like, the people that drew you? You don't have to name names, but some
Yeah.
of the experiences that kind of endeared you to these people that made you decide that you wanted to stick around.
I don't know. I think it was just the way that we all work together here, especially on the team of people that I work with, is just a really like almost like a family, and that's actually what one of our newest members said when he first got here. He not even a couple of days of working, he's like, it feels like a family here, and in a very real way it is, and
in some cases,
and,
yeah. We definitely know of some like parent-child teams and some brother and brother teams, and definitely seen my share of them.
Yeah, but, I think that's a huge part to why I really want to stay, because it's like, I think for the most part, people that work at mountain resorts or kind of any resort out there that has a purpose, whether it's hiking or snowboarding or skiing or whatever it's going to be, I think that's why a lot of people want to work there in the first place. So here especially, I felt like, if we get what we need to get done in a timely manner, and we're good at getting what we need to get done, we have time to get off and go snowboarding, take advantage of the perks that come with this job. Whereas I feel like the last time that I worked for another place was the opposite. I was also in a different position, but it was definitely a lot of work, and then by the time I finished the work, I was like, I'm so tired, I just want to go home. And I lived about an hour and a half away, so it would be like, that drive every day. But
definitely a benefit to living where we live,
Yeah. Have you worked at any mountains before?
No, this is like my first mountain. It's my second seasonal job. Before this, I was a bartender at a beach resort.
Okay.
Nice. Which, that was a fun job, I'm not gonna lie. The things I saw, I don't know if I could talk about.
So we can bleep some stuff out.
That's let me just say, bikini season was great season. That's not to say that ski season isn't amazing. I mean, for me, I choose to work here. Again, the people. Absolutely, I love the people. I love who I work with. I love a lot of the people that I've worked for. You mentioned family, and I feel that kind of translates across the mountain as far as the amount of support that this company, that will remain nameless, offers to its employees and to the general community that helps support it. But this place is paradise. Even in the summertime, it's amazingly gorgeous. Can't begin to tell you how many different species of animal I never would have seen had I remained on the East Coast.
Right.
We have a bear, for God's sake.
Right. Yeah. That's that's a really cool part of it, is just the natural beauty that comes with it. And I feel like, I believe it was you and a few other people outside the other week talking about the energy from the ocean and the mountains.
Yeah.
And we're in like a perfect spot where we still get enough from the ocean where it fulfills that little bit of a,
That's
wonderment or whatever
that's
whatever
true.
you want to call it.
I mean, for sure, where we are, like, yes, you can't hear the ocean from where we are, but I feel like at least on some level I can feel it, as compared to being like in Illinois or somewhere in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
You cannot feel that ocean. You can't feel the pulse of the waves. But at least I'm close enough here. I'm within a few hundred miles of the coast. I still kind of feel it, and it's a comfort for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like the main reasons why we continue to do it, what would be like the biggest one for you? Why?
Why do I continue to do this job?
Haven't found anything better
Oh.
yet.
No, that's not true. I mean, I
Yeah,
have
no.
I have certainly reached my moments of frustration where I'm back on, Indeed or whatever, and I'm looking around and seeing what's out there. And there are definitely better paying jobs and probably positions that would treat me a little bit better than they treat me here. But I continue to do it, again, because the people that continue to come through here are all amazing. I feel my life is absolutely enriched by meeting, anybody who's come here to work here and stays here at least for one season. We won't count the people who like ditch after 2 weeks, but still learn something from them too. Just not nearly as
Absolutely.
enriching.
Yeah, there's. I just said this the other day. I think there's something to learn from everybody.
Right.
But I do agree with what you said this the other day. I believe is like, if you're here longer than a week, I'll learn your name or something like that.
That's been a major problem.
Yeah.
Especially like here in the employee housing.
Yeah.
Like you meet somebody in passing. Oh, hey, I'm so and so. Hey, I'm Owl. And then
They're gone.
The next day they're gone. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whatever happened to so and so?
Yeah.
But I mean, that kind of goes to the whole transience of this job.
Okay.
It's meant to be seasonal. Like, you and I are blessed enough that we're in flex year-round positions, so they're not going to cut us off at the end of the ski season or at the end of the summer. But everybody else, like you mentioned, being a lift op, that is definitely a very seasonal job, and unless you're one of the supervisors for that team,
Yeah.
you're come the end of April, you're out.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was one of the few people actually that made it through the whole season. That season, most of the lift ops got fired for ridiculous reasons. Some very valid, but some 1 minute late kind of things, which is like, okay. But I definitely got away with some things there that it's just nobody knew who I was.
It's just a matter of not, learning how not to get caught, really.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, the transience of this.
Yeah, the transients.
jobs.
It is, I mean, on the one hand, it's great for the younger crew, people who are like just out of high school or just out of college, and they don't know what, they're not ready to step up to their full-time career yet. It's a great 6-month gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what makes it really difficult for it as a business to keep a solid crew of people, which I think there is definitely a solid crew of people that have been here for a long time. But yeah, I definitely feel like at other resorts and other places like that, similar to here, that how fast we turn out people is a lot, and finding those people that like you just said are not quite I don't know what I want to do, or it's like we do get a lot of people that are like quick money kind of, and fuck the rest of it, quick money. I don't know if we're gonna swear or
I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
No, but like going back to the transients thing, I mean, So when I first got here, it was described like I saw people coming and going pretty much constantly. My first few weeks here, um, and it was described to me as people who take this job, they're either running towards something or they're running away from something. How do you feel about that?
Either running towards something or away from something. Okay, so I think that that's a good for a lot of people. Yeah, I agree. Something I just remembered as you were saying that was a part of the reason, or part of the feeling I got when I first started here was like, and I really think it was because of that feeling of inclusivity that I got immediately, of like, we're gonna take care of you, like in a way, like, we know you're here to snowboard, so we want to help you maximize that time, which was like really cool to hear that, or not even hear that directly, but just like, pretty much. And so it became and not only just because of that, but like just because of how everybody is with each other, and here too, is like, this is one of the first places I've worked at that I've really ever seen myself staying. Like for an extended period of time.
Right. You're not planning your 6-month escape.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I'm only gonna hang out for a year and then I'm bouncing.
Yeah, most jobs I quit and just either didn't say. Most jobs I just quit and didn't say anything. I mean, I maybe let them know a day or two before or something like that. Definitely a couple I just stopped coming in. That was years and years ago, but this one's like, I don't know, I feel respected, and so I feel more encouraged to give that back, or to reciprocate that.
So the previous resort then that you worked at, you obviously didn't have those feelings. No. So tell me some of the stuff that they would do to their employees, not necessarily you, but like some of the stuff that you observed that instilled that lack of loyalty.
From what I understand, from what I've heard from a couple people here at this place now, is it used to be more similar to that, like way more strict on a lot of rules. Not to say that they're not now, but different management, different things. But at the last resort I worked at, in 2016, I just felt like they treated us as like totally replaceable, which we were, because that goes on. They know that we're just here to snowboard or make some money or what have you, and get out of there.
Yeah.
And so they treated us like that. And yeah, there's definitely very few people that really see it as like a career or a longer term job, I think.
Do you think that the way that you have been treated in this job is reflecting that you could see this as a career and that they see that? Or is that just this general vibe that this particular resort that we both work for happens to share at the moment?
I feel like, again, it's just the people. It really comes back to just the people that are here. And of course, and then with that nature and everything else that comes with that, is like, it's so beautiful. It was incredible when it snowed. I grew up in the state, and I never came here before in my life.
Okay.
And so this last year, snowboarding was my first time coming here and snowboarding here.
Okay.
And so everything was like totally new for me to be around this area, and all the runs, everything, and so to learn some of that and to learn some of the backcountry that's here too is like, that's what made it like, okay, this is cool. Yeah.
I can totally get behind that.
Definitely.
I still have, my and then I went right back to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I like some interesting stuff.
this has been very interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta, and I'll add on to the natural beauty of this place. Like, you come here, you get dropped off morning, for work,
Mhm.
and you look out into the horizon, and it's like one of those Windows backgrounds, that you'd see on like the slideshow from your screensaver. Is like this one is,
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is picturesque. There are very few sites that I've seen that can even compare to it.
That's one thing, like definitely coming down the hill every day from work is just, no matter if it's cloudy or completely clear, you see the clouds in the valley, or it's just any way, it's just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to that. I'll absolutely drink to this mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's just something like, and I remember another friend saying earlier in the season, like, people would come through the lift. He was a ticket checker,
Mhm.
and people would come through the lift lines and be upset for some reason. Maybe their task isn't working or something is going on, and at the end of the day, he's like, I'd just be like, look around, like how can you be mad right now? You're here. This is incredible.
Yeah. I guess those people take it for granted. I mean, I certainly have noticed my fair share of yuppies on this mountain, and they I don't know if they just do this for the status of it or what their deal is, but yeah, they definitely seem to have the wrong mentality about being here, because it is you just can't like, even if you showed up and you forgot every piece of your equipment, you are still in this. You're surrounded by like mountains covered in snow, and like there's a fox over there, and hey, there's an elk that's like probably gonna come up to you if you have food in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
Exactly.
how do you get mad here, or like
Yeah.
like I just don't get it. And then you turn around and you treat like these service employees like garbage, and I just, this mountain isn't for you, brah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I've seen it in a lot of employees that have come and gone, even
Mhm.
just in the short time that I've been here, that how they perceive this position, how they perceive their position here at the mountain, and it's just a job to them.
Mhm.
It's like, but then to the people that keep coming back, I feel like it's different. To the people that continue to do this,
Mhm.
like we have,
Right.
it's definitely there's something more than that.
Sure. I can absolutely agree with that. Like, the ones who choose to stay, like, there's something here that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
And it ain't a person. So, which brings us to the next topic, the off season, which is what we are now currently in.
It is June already.
It's June.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for the off season, since we can't ski or snowboard?
Wow. Okay. So I bought a truck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Toyota Tacoma, and it was working great. It was amazing. I changed the steering rack and tie rods. Went to go have it aligned at a shop, and had new tires mounted, balanced, and had them rotated, and then had the alignment done. And then the third time after that, the drive home, I noticed something was off. Like before, the alignment had probably 2.5 inches of play, and it was a terrible alignment. But when I could still drive it, at least like that. And when I drove it home after getting the alignment was still somewhat off, and there was a weirder wobble at like 50 to 60 miles an hour.
Oof.
And I noticed that immediately, and I went back in and told them about it, and it is a lifted truck, and they were like, oh, it's a lifted truck on big tires, that's normal, they're just not going to get a good alignment. And I was like, it wasn't doing this. I drove it several hundred miles without this, with a poor alignment before you guys did stuff to it, and now I noticed this really weird feeling, you know, like it would like get tight and then loose, and then like when I was trying to turn, like it would feel like there was sections of turning that would get tight. Anyways, the fourth time driving it after getting aligned, I was driving back home from dropping a friend off at the airport, and my wheel fell off. My driver's side front wheel, just the lug nuts sheared off, all 6 of them, and I saw the wheel just go bling, bling, and catch and fly off into the night. It was about midnight.
Must have been terrifying.
This happened. It was one of those, you know, it wasn't as terrifying as like it was just like a so immediate thing. I was like, and then the truck went down like this, and I see sparks flying past my driver's side window, and it's like I'm here. I can't go back. I can't do anything about it. What am I gonna do now? You know? And I was like, well, shit. And I just like tried to pull over, and it was surprisingly easy to pull it over to the side of the road, and it just stopped on its own. And I pulled my phone out. My phone was dead, and I was just past that last town close here, and thought about walking back. And not 2 minutes later, I had like just searched the rest of my truck for a charging cable, couldn't find one. Then by the time I was just about to start walking back, I saw lights come over the hill, and I flashed my lights because it still ran perfectly fine. The engine's fine. So I flashed my lights at them, and they pulled over, and I was like, "Hey, my wheel fell off."
Jeez.
And luckily, it was somebody else that worked here, and they had just come from here as well, and so they were able to give me a ride back. So that happened, and so since I'm going to get that back, hopefully within the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another
Within the
30
next
days,
month.
hopefully.
Yeah. Waiting on a settlement from the company that did the mount and balance and alignment. And going to get it repaired, and then we'll be able to go 4x4ing. So to answer your question, long answer.
Very long, roundabout way of getting there, but yeah.
4x4ing, but not yet, because I still have to fix that, and then I'd like to swap the front end to a solid axle.
Okay.
And then add some more stuff, and then it'll be a
So
nice
you
little
want
fun
to trick
toy.
out your ride,
Yeah.
and then you want to take it for
Exactly.
go mudding.
Yes, precisely. And we live in an amazing area for that.
We do.
So,
Yes.
and I've never gotten into that before, so I think that would be something super fun to do this summer.
I think I agree with you there. That would be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
And it's going to be a good summer for it too. It's going to be very muddy.
definitely. Yeah, really rainy. And then just really quickly, other than that, practicing snowboarding.
How do you do that?
Training snowboarding. So I do that right now using a snowboard addiction training board. So there's a company that makes these little boards. They're probably about this long, and they are made out of the same material as a regular snowboard. And they have little bindings that you can strap in and adjust as you would a regular board, and you just strap in with your socks on.
Oh.
And the one I have, it came with a rail, like a plastic PVC type little rail thing that you just set on the ground next to it, so you can practice jumping up and balancing on the rail, essentially. And then to accentuate that, I've also combined a lot of people here to buy a trampoline. And we have a big gymnastic style trampoline now, where we can strap in. It has no edges on this board, so it's soft edges, so it's not going to rip through the trampoline. So we can practice our spins, our grabs, our flips, and all this other kind of stuff. So hopefully by next winter, we'll be a whole team of shredders just like going down the mountain.
Sweet.
Right.
And just for those listening at home, what brand of snowboard addiction board would you say that is?
The brand is Snowboard Addiction.
Snowboard Addiction. You hear that? Snowboard Addiction? In case you
Pause.
want to...
We're good. Okay. There we go.
We're back
Yeah,
on. We're live?
snowboard addiction training board. That is what. That is the type of board that I have.
Awesome.
Yes, that we have bought for the community here. Yeah.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. So from the, what's the word that you used? The ins and outs of people coming in.
Oh yeah, the transients.
The transients of people
the
coming
transients of this.
in. To what have we?
Well, we've worked. We're doing the off season.
The off season, correct?
Yep.
So I've gone through some of the things I'd love to do. There's definitely more than that, but we can talk about that later. But what would you like to?
I honestly would love
accomplish?
to finally see the Pacific Ocean. That is definitely a life goal of mine.
You haven't seen it
I
yet.
have not seen. I've been to some of the inlets and sounds that connect to the Pacific Ocean, but I have yet to see the actual coast. So that is definitely something on my highlights list for this summer. I'm big into foraging. Like, one of the things that definitely drew me out here, is, in this forest, is there's so many edible mushrooms and berries that
I'm just taking some notes.
can be collected and harvested. It's always a good time. And then beyond that, I mean, there's all sorts of festivals and fairs that I would love to go check out. Like, it's nice being up on this mountain, but I, would like to go visit civilization every once in a while.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a huge drinker or anything, but the bar scene in this state is a creature all on its own. So,
Yeah. Have you been to Seattle much?
I have.
I guess we just gave away the
Well,
state.
it's not like we're the only ski resort in the state of Washington or anything.
True.
But, I've been to Seattle. Seattle is a lot of fun. We're going to be doing Pride there real soon this month,
Cool.
in fact. Which, if you haven't been, it's a huge-ass party.
Yep.
And just go, enjoy. You don't have to be gay to enjoy Pride.
Yeah, absolutely. Just happy. Just happy.
Yeah. Just be an ally. That's all.
Absolutely.
But besides like Pride or the other festivals that they throw in there, I mean the music scene here in Washington is incredible too.
Yeah.
Would love to go hit up a few concerts this summer.
Any in particular that you have in mind?
I would love to see Blink-182 in concert.
Okay.
First time in like 15 years that they've been back together. I kind of want to go see
And
them.
they're coming here?
Yeah, they're coming. Oh yeah, they're
Oh,
coming here.
what? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be. I think they're going to the Gorge. I think they're going to be at the Gorge this year.
Wow. Okay.
So.
I will be at the Gorge in less than 20 days.
Right. Who are you going to go see?
I shall. It's the event called Beyond Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bunch of artists. It's like a technically two-day music festival with a pre-party. So that'll be super fun. I'm going with a new group of people that I met here, actually.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be really cool. Yeah.
I'm looking. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anybody that a lud like me would have heard of playing the festival? I mean, there's so many artists
I honestly,
now.
yeah, I honestly can't
I'm
even
like-
think of who's playing. Let's see. Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome.
One of my good friends actually just went to another festival at the Gorge just like last weekend, I think, and he said he put himself in a position he got some box seats.
Oh.
And he met some very cool people, including some of the artists, and had some very cool conversations with some people. And so he was talking to me the other day and kind of telling me I need to get a box ticket with him for this next one, and explaining why. And I was like, okay, that could be pretty sweet.
It's an investment, really.
Yeah, he said it was like he said he would take care of most of it. I would just need to pay him a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah. 2024. No, not the. I did go to Beyond Wonderland last year, and last year it was stopped a day early because there was a shooting
Oh.
at the festival. It was in the campsites. It wasn't in the main area of the festival, but still, it was crazy.
That's a bummer, though.
It was nuts. Just like, yeah, everybody being there and the way that they are having fun. And
I mean, was everybody okay? Was anybody, like, seriously hurt?
no, a couple people died.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's terrible.
I think more than two people were shot. Don't quote me on this, but I believe two people died. But yeah, that was nuts. So coming back to the same event the next year is definitely going to be. I know that security is going to be very tight, as they very well should be.
I mean, I've never been to a concert where security wasn't tight, honestly.
Yeah, this one I think they're upping it even more. Like they're pulling you out of your cars. They're searching everything with dogs, like everything, even your RVs. Yeah, it's a lot.
Welcome to the new America.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Blink-182, a
Yeah.
couple other concerts. That would be amazing to see them at the Gorge.
That would be great
Are
to
they
see.
the only people playing? Do you know?
No, I don't think they're the only. I mean, I'm sure they have at least an opener, but I'm not sure who that is yet.
Could be you.
Yeah, it could be me. I think. Oh no, AJR just finished their tour of Washington. So I would have liked to go see AJR. I was really pissed that I missed Death Clock and Baby Metal last year. I'm really hoping that
And Baby Metal.
and
Okay.
Baby Metal. It sounded like it was going to be a great show.
Yeah.
I would have loved to go see that, but and they were playing down at White River. So,
Okay, that's
yeah.
to somewhere.
But yeah, so I would like to go see some concerts, for sure. And I mean, this is a great place to be because everybody comes to Washington. If they're doing a tour, they're doing at least one Washington show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I would really like to go to some, like, festival events, kind of like like not parades, but I don't know. What do I want to?
Well, like county fairs, you mean?
Kind of things like that. Yeah, I know there was just Folklife Festival was in Seattle, just like a week or two ago, and that's super cool. They just have it. I think that's only once a year, but they have it set up all around the Space Needle, and they just have all these tents and vendors and all this stuff like within 100 blocks or something like that. So you
That
can
does
just
sound cool.
walk around and stuff. But yeah, stuff like that. I guess that does sound really cool. Other than being out here, do you like hiking or anything like that?
I love hiking. I mean, and I'll be doing plenty of that, but
Yeah.
that's not so much like a thing that I'm looking forward to as a
It's a
more
dread.
it's more like a meditational process for me. Like I just go out into the woods and wander around and see what there is to be seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to check out some of the other trails around here for sure, but like there's like 100 trails just around this camp to
Yeah.
explore.
Yeah.
All right, just starting off there, but then I would love to go see the Snoqualmie Falls, I think it is.
Mhm.
And hike that trail and do some camping. Even,
Yeah. One place I would love to find around here is like a good lake. Like a hikeable little
lake.
that that I love those little things.
there are a few,
Okay.
especially even at the resort. There's a lake just beyond
I've heard of
one
that.
of the
Yeah,
lifts.
yeah, I've heard of that.
Which would be fun one to do. I mean, it'll be a trek
Yeah.
because it's all uphill at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
But and then even down at the sea level, as we'll call it, there's plenty of lakes to go wander around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would love to take you out to the coast. It would be really cool. I personally have not been to the Hoh Rainforest, which is the peninsula in Washington.
Okay.
I think it's actually one of the biggest rainforests in the world. I
Okay.
could be completely wrong.
For sure, one of the biggest rainforests in North America.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
yes, that's okay.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
In the world, I mean, we might have to do some cross-checking on that one, but
Yeah.
rank the top 10 biggest rainforests for me, Google.
Yeah, what you guys let us know in the comments.
Yeah, right. Tell us in the comments where you think we should go in the state of Washington. We'll even go as far as Oregon if we have to.
Yeah.
No international travel. Don't send us to Canada.
Do you have a passport?
I do not. I don't even have a real ID. I do have a CDL, which allows me to drive over the border, but that's about it. I don't think I'm even allowed to really get out of my truck at that.
Is something stopping you
From getting my passport?
from getting your ID
Just-
and stuff?
Time, really?
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I probably, I mean, I know by this time next year, I have to have my real ID.
Hmm.
So I'll definitely have it by then. And I haven't had a reason to get my passport because I'm not traveling outside of the country for any real reason.
True. Yes, I did. I did travel outside of the country.
Although I would like to work a ski season in New Zealand or Japan. That would be fun. Or
would
even go down
be-
to Argentina, visit some of our J1 friends.
Wow,
Right?
that would be nuts.
Right? Go to Patagonia and work there for a season. That'd be fun.
Right? Could you imagine though? It would be like the opposite of here. It would just be all North American,
Right?
people. It would feel like home in the wintertime.
You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out with these, North American college students.
Pretty
They're gonna think I'm a J1, but I'm not. I'm just an international worker.
much.
I have
Yeah.
a J2 visa. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 What's next? What?
Ah,
We
well,
can cut this.
what about parties? You're going to a couple of music festivals.
So
So tell me what you plan to do at these music festivals. That obviously, hopefully, does not involve any kind of firearm.
no,
Okay.
none. No firearms.
No firearms.
I would love to enjoy the music and have fun with the people that I go with and enjoy my time and experience the things there. And I would also love to network.
Mhm.
I have previously for 4.5 years owned a business in Indonesia doing web design consulting
Mhm.
and business strategy and branding and all that kind of sorts of stuff. And I just started getting back into that in the United States, and it feels really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it definitely, when I first picked it up again, I closed my business in Indonesia when I left, and I came back to the US, ended a relationship and a bunch of other things. So it was a bunch of tying ends over there and then kind of starting again here because I'd been there for almost 4.5 years. And yeah, it was just different coming back. I honestly, I felt like I would come back to the U.S. and keep doing exactly what I was doing, living in my own house, paying for all my bills, I had my cats living with me,
Aw.
everything. Like it was great, and I come back here and I did not have the same connections that I had there. And so when I came back here and said, hey, I do web design, or I can do photography or video editing, all these kinds of things, I just didn't put that effort into advertising myself in the right ways. I just kind of reached out to friends and family and stuff like that, which I did get a little bit of return on that, but and it was great, but not completely. And that and the over and over again of like having people I know and leading up to the point of, oh, here's the contract, here's what we talked about, here's the contract, and they're like, oh no, kind of thing, several times. And so
yeah.
that kind of was like, why am I even doing this anymore? And
Right.
then I just got into tree work, climbed a couple times, would love to learn how to do that more, but definitely just help drag branches and stuff like that for several months. And then winter was coming, and that's when I met another coworker of ours, and he was like, come out here.
Come out here, snowboard for
Yeah.
a season.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. They'll pay you.
So yeah, it feels really good to step back into working online. I love the creativity of that and the thought processes that come behind that. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work, and I was up till 3:30 writing down ideas, and I don't even feel tired. You know, it's like truly what I love to do, and I'm super excited to get back into it.
You hear that, viewers? If you have a website that you want designed, or you need some social media consultation, his contact information will be down at the bottom of our page.
Mutualfriends.cc.
There you go.
This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be great. I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this.
This is the first one.
All right, this is just the first episode. We have so much more to talk about. I have an entire list of topics here.
So what's something that I'm going to go off of that for a second.
Sure.
Just what's something that you really feel like has brought you to these places in your life, throughout your life?
Oh, geez. Well, you've heard the term jack of all trades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Master of none.
Master of none, yeah.
But oftentimes better than a master of one.
Correct.
That is my philosophy. That is my life. I hold so many certifications for random shit, and I love it. I can go back and be a CNA in almost any nursing home or hospital in the country. I can go bartend in any restaurant or bar in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive a school bus, just because this job gave me the license to do that. And I love it. And but beyond that, I've done general contracting. I have been in food service. I'm a writer. I'm a performer. I just like being able to slip into any kind of role that is needed. And I've lived independently for a few years now. And I hate spending money. Hate it. It causes so much anxiety. If I've got to drop $1,000 on a car repair, I'd much rather learn how to do it myself and save that $1,000 for something frivolous and fun.
Totally.
And this job definitely gave me that opportunity too, to kind of expand. A few years ago, but just about a year ago, I'd say, when I started stepping into this housing position here, it was random jobs. Like a light switch needed to be replaced, or a baseboard heater needed to be replaced, or a door needed to be rehung. I know how to do these things, and I enjoy being able to do these things. And the job definitely presents these kinds of challenges, so I'm never bored. It's never routine for me.
That's very true. Yeah. That's something I find with my job as well. It's similar, but different in different ways every day.
And I appreciate that. I like how it's different in different ways every day.
I was going to get you next time, but this time, but you...
a bartender and a server, so
True. So how did you start bartending?
Back in 2007,
Mm-hmm.
I'd been a server, a waiter, we called them back then. We hadn't gotten PC yet. So I was a waiter for a few years. I pretty much always had some sort of restaurant job, just as a part-time thing. Yep. It was a great way to make quick cash. The hours are always flexible. So it got me through college. And then I decided that I was tired of, being abused by people who weren't tipping me enough, and I looked around at the industry that I was in, and I said, who doesn't take a lot of abuse but gets a ton of tips? Bartenders. Mm-hmm. So I went to a mixology school and learned how to make all the classic cocktails, and basically learned the formula for mixing a cocktail I've never even heard of. Usually if someone says, for example, I'll throw out Skinny Margarita was a big one.
Okay.
That came about during my time as a bartender, and I didn't know how to make that. Mm-hmm. But so you want me to just replace all the sugars? Is what it was. And, you know, suddenly, like, hey, I could, without even having to look on the internet, I could figure out how to make a skinny margarita. And it's definitely one of the more fun jobs out there. Like, it's part performance, it's part service, and it's very, like, one-on-one. Even in a busy bar.
Yeah.
You know, you still get that one-on-one time with people, and, you know, sometimes they'll tell you a joke, sometimes they'll tell you a story, or, you know, they'll ask your advice, which is a big one for being a bartender, and I kind of fell into that. People just kind of naturally seek me out for advice for some reason. And I'm like, so I enjoyed it.
You know, I've never been a bartender, so thinking of that from someone who just goes and sits at a bar, you know, I do see that a lot, and they see someone. We all see someone. I think a bartender as someone who, you know, can provide a valid opinion. You know. And then of course you're accompanied by drinking, so then you go, I want to talk to you.
Right. They open up this, you know, you pour them that first drink, it's like, my wife left me. And I'm like, well, why? What did you do, Harold?
Open that can of worms. What did you do? Right?
And they, you know, they not only come to expect, but they accept that bluntness from you too. Like, if it were any other service position and you tried to call them out on their shit, you know, they'd probably ask for your manager. But as a bartender, they just sit there and like, damn it, you're right.
Yeah, and
I've been an asshole.
Yeah. I wonder what it is that gives that, like, validity, you know.
It's an age-old, like, profession. It's not like it's not the oldest profession in the book.
It's the person providing your escape,
your liquid therapy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. It looks like this camera towards me has not too long left.
Yeah, we are just about out of time.
We're going great.
Yeah, I think this went pretty well for our first one.
Of course.
So, any closing thoughts?
You know, I'm so thankful and grateful to have started this.
Same.
And actually,
cheers.
You know,
Let's drink to that.
Absolutely.
This is fun.
Just to have fun for ourselves, you know.
Right.
For more than anything, what I've said several times before is like more than you guys watching, it's more for me to watch myself. If you guys don't like it, I'll watch it.
I'm still gonna watch it. It's like, we are here for us, not you. But you know, on that note, Snowboard Addiction, if you would like to sponsor us, we are here for you.
But also, we're here for all of you guys. I think a huge part of this I would love to expand on is you know, like is things that we've been through, and we can talk about them for ourselves to express them, and also hopefully maybe there's somebody out there that takes it and can learn something from it.
Hopefully the things that we have to talk about can help some people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I know that.
Yeah.
Good. Good, right? Yeah, shenanigans. But you know, the other thing too is that we definitely have a lot of insight into this industry, and for those people who are considering getting a resort job with employee housing, we are here for you.
Do it.
Do it. I got nothing else on my end. So, thank you all for watching. And now the credits. Is This Really My Job was written and performed by Dylan Mutal and Owl Mish, and is a Mutual Friends production. Directed by Owl Mish and Dylan Mutal, recorded and edited by Dylan Mutal. And if you enjoyed our show, Please be sure to subscribe and subject your friends to our show. Thank you, and we'll see you at the bottom.